Raleigh, Durham-based chef collective of so far two African women who cook food based on our West African heritage. I'm originally from Ghana.
And I'm from Benin.
Right, so we try to use our heritage and our upbringing and the traditions and culture that we grew up with and incorporate that into our dishes into reimagined ways. We like to call it neo-African.
So the name of our dinner is called miton. This is actually the Fon language, which is one of my traditional native languages. And what that means is our mothers. So that is exactly who has inspired us to create this menu.
What we decided to do is create dishes and a menu based upon our mothers, the experiences we have with them, their personalities, just put all of that together and represent their stories through food.
Just really holding them up and thanking them for all the sacrifices that they have made in being women and mothers in this world. And so, yeah, this is just a thank you to them. So the first course that y'all are going to be enjoying is called hueme. And that is a mango papaya salad with a citrus vinaigrette with some peanut crumbles on there. And hueme, y'all, is where I am from. It's a very small city in Porto Novo, Benin. And I remember as a child, before leaving my country, sitting underneath the papaya tree that we had on nats with my mama and my sisters, and weaving baskets and making tisane. And the mango tree, which was like right in front when you come into our doors, right to your left, gave the most delicious, and I mean the most delicious mangoes. And that memory combined with the characteristics of all these different ingredients really embodies who my mother is as a very strong woman, sweet when she wants to be, and definitely spicy when, you know, you kind of rub her a little bit the wrong way, and all together just, you know, really makes her who she is. So the second dish that y'all are going to be enjoying on this menu is a combination of both Samantha and my culture. Hana is the Fon word for pork in my native language, and it's, you know, probably one of the biggest dishes that we eat in Benin. And if you ask my mama today what is her favorite thing to eat, she's gonna tell you is hana right there.
The other half of the dish is called aboboy, and aboboy is usually bambara beans, and it is one of my mom's favorite street foods. In Ghana we have a dish which is called tatale and aboboy, and it's mashed, fried like almost like plantain pancakes, spiced plantain pancakes, served with stewed or cooked down bambara beans. And Ade and I were talking, and we realized that the word for bean is fairly similar. What was your
abobo?
Abobo, and ours is aboboy. So we decided this was a great way to incorporate both of our cultures and our mothers, because like I said, aboboy is my mom's favorite street food. So we'll be using a black-eyed pea, and we're not going the traditional Ghanaian aboboy route of making it into a puree, but it'll be more of like a stewed black-eyed pea dish to accompany the pork.
My mama in Benin had a little restaurant right on the outside of our home that she would make abobo there as well every day for her customers. So this is like really, yes, it's a perfect mixture of the two of us.
And then the third dish is called nanabna. So my mother's middle name is Nana, and she was born on Tuesday, which is Abna. And my mom is the youngest girl of 5 kids. And so my grandmother combined, which she did with a lot of us, combined both of the names Nana and Abna. And a lot of her family members call her Nanabna. So this dish is a spiced custard incorporating some plantain caramel. So we're roasting down the plantains, making it into a caramel, and then it'll be topped with some shaved Ghanaian chocolate. And so while this isn't necessarily a dish that my mother would say is her favorite dish because we created it, it is a dish I think that embodies the characteristics of my mother. So on the outside, the custard, it can also be viewed as kind of like a panna cotta. Seems to be pretty simple, very to the point dessert, but the complexity comes in the fact that there are a lot of spices that are incorporated into the custard to add several layers that can be contrasting, and that is my mother in a nutshell, right? She's sweet, she can appear simple, but then she can hit you with some elegance when she's going out and really dolling herself up. She's a very strong woman and a woman that is very opinionated and will not hesitate to offer that opinion. So all of that just, I think, lends itself to being someone who's very nuanced and complex, and that's how we'd like to view this dish, right? You'll take a bite, you'll look at it and think it's simple, but take a bite and be pleasantly surprised at kind of the nuance and complexity in the dish. So.
And as Samantha was describing that last dish, our third course, I was just thinking, oh, that sounds like my mama too. Yes, that sounds like my mother too. So I'm sure for any of you who are listening or watching this, does this remind you of your mama too? Because if you are an African child, I think this embodies what an African mama is, and it's beautiful.
So our culinary style, I would say, is less formulaic, and it is derived and aligned with the way that we learn to cook, both of us, and that is through oral tradition. I would venture to say across the entire continent, definitely in West Africa though, there is less recipe building, less formula, less writing down of dishes and preparations, and it's more so a communal gathering of moms and aunts and grandmothers and cousins, and coming together and convening in that way, and then learning to cook by sight.
Anytime I'm home with my mom in Benin, there isn't a single time where she says I'm cooking and not all the women from the neighborhood are in our house in the kitchen working together. And so that's the beauty to me of what African cooking is, and I think for the both of us it's really important for us to highlight and honor that. What's really important for us as African female chefs is to honor the traditions of where we come from. And in doing so, if we're going to talk about food, in doing so, maybe in the methods that we cook our food, maybe in specific ingredients that we use to make a dish.
Naming, I think, is a really big thing,
yes.
Right? We're not going to call, like if we have peanut butter soup or something in our country, we're gonna tell you what the name of it is, and we're not gonna try it like the actual name that we call it traditionally in either of our countries, and try to make it more accessible for people that are not West African, because we think it's really important to honor what we grew up on. And so while it may not be something that is at the forefront of the culinary space right now, we think that it can be. And continuing to like say those names, honor those ingredients, those rituals, those practices, is really the only way to get it out there. But at the same time, the reimagining piece, I think, is where we get to like be creative. Right? So.
Be creative and also add on our own experiences as people who have left our respective countries and have been immersed in other cultures. It's important to understand that, okay, there are things that separate us, but then there's other things that bring us together. We want you to feel home, right?
Yeah, whatever that is for you. So it can be, for me, I have a lot of different, well, I wouldn't say a lot of different homes. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. So that is a home, and that home feels very different from, you know, my native home, which is Ghana, Accra, Ghana. So whatever home feels like for you is kind of the feeling we're trying to evoke.
And like for me, I was born in Benin and I was adopted at a young age and grew up in a Puerto Rican home. And so both of those are very different, but it's still home to me. And so we want you all to feel that, and maybe hug your mom a little bit tighter today and tell her thank you. Thanks for spending some time with us today, you guys. I'm Chef Ade.
And I'm Chef Samantha.
And we hope you enjoy your night in.